We're back, baby. We are so back. The banking is back. The Second Amendment rights win the banking back. Banks getting backhands because they discriminated against us just for our Second Amendment rights. Guys, I've been waiting to do this video for like 24 hours. I'm back in the home studio and we are about to get it. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on because as you regulars know, every single time that you do, you induce this to happen through the gun controller in your mind right now. Up, out of bed, Lego, right in the foot every single night. Only when you hit that subscribe and you hit that like button. Leave an emoji, share it out, spread the goodness, and jump over there on X at Braden LOA, where you can be part of the future of the Second Amendment fight because we are going places, baby. All right, listen. We have got to talk about this thing that Trump just did from the White House through an executive order. It turns out that let's be polite, the wet dream of the gun controllers and the tyrants, it kind of just got smacked a little about debanking conservatives, debanking Second Amendment rights activists, Second Amendment businesses, you know, all that stuff that's heavily illegal. Yeah, it turns out it was. So anyway, that's what GOA just posted. And I was at goal, so I couldn't really do this with the full zest that I wanted to. But now that I'm back in the Freedom Studio, in the hut of freedom, we are about to tear this asunder. Let's dive into this, people. This is, as you can see, it's coming from the White House, and everything is going to be in the description box below, per usual, with the receipts, guaranteeing fair banking for all Americans, even you pesky ones that really like your pew-pews and your Second Amendment rights, because it turns out Okay, let's get into it. All right, as you can see, the date is August 7th. Man, it's good to be back in the studio. So here's the first one I want to hit. Financial institutions have engaged in unacceptable practices to restrict law-abiding individuals and businesses access to financial services on the basis of political or religious beliefs or lawful business activities. Shouldn't that be followed with, and so we arrested X? No? Too old-fashioned? Now let's keep going. Now, some financial institutions practice it in government-directed surveillance programs. Great. Targeting persons participating in activities and causes commonly associated with conservatism and the political right following the events that occurred at or near the United States Capitol on January 6th, 2021. I'll say it, Bank of America. You know, the bank that gave all the documents to anyone who ever bought a gun. Yeah. Don't bank with them, by the way. The federal government suggested that such institutions flagged individuals who made transactions related to companies like Cabela's or Bass Pro Shop, by the way, two of the largest gun dealers in the entire United States, or who made peer-to-peer payments that involved terms like Trump or MAGA, even though there was no specific evidence tying these individuals to criminal conduct. But guys, I mean, honestly though, let's turn the sarcasm all the way up real quick. Who needs an actual criminal activity with old-fashioned like evidence? That is so weird. Why would you do that when you can simply use red flag law terminology and red flag law language and red flag law thought processes, which they weaponize against the Second Amendment community? Why do that? Just doesn't make sense. It makes so much more sense for red flag laws where you just get rid of due process completely because after all, it's for safety. Now let's turn the sarcasm meter down a little bit. This is why I fully believe that the Second Amendment community, the gun community, we are going to save this nation more so than any other group that is specifically devoted to an individual topic, simply because they've done this to us for so long and now they're taking it broad, and we're veterans. We are experts at avoiding it, beating it, defeating it, and then turning it around against them. You guys are. But that's what's happening right now. Anyway, let's keep on going. Oh, look, examples. Operation Chokepoint, for example, was a well-documented and systemic means by which federal regulators push banks to minimize their involvement with individuals and companies engaged in lawful activities in industries disfavored by regulators based on factors other than individualized, objective, risk-based standards. You mean like business? Guys, I may be, and it turns bad boy up real quick. I may be, not with it. Maybe I'm not with the new way of thinking. But doesn't that sound like, what does that sound like? Oh my God. Segregation? Doesn't that sound like profiling? Because I was beaten over the head with and told that was bad. But it's not bad when they do it to you. I find it interesting, I do. Says me. Let's keep on going. As a result, individuals, their businesses, and their families have been subjected to debanking on the basis of their political affiliations, religious beliefs, or lawful business activities, and have suffered frozen payrolls, debt, and crushing interest. That's punitive, and other significant harms to their livelihoods, reputations, and financial well being. Such practices are incompatible with a free society and the principle that the provision of banking services should be based on material, measurable, and justifiable risk. Again, not political inputs. Now, who did those political inputs? To each one of you watching at home, who were the individuals and which political identity and which political mindset and philosophy was the group that said, you can't do this because I don't like your political beliefs, so we're going to raise your threat profile because of your constitutional rights, and then we're going to lower the threat profile of everyone else, therefore making an uneven playing field, and therefore effectively attempting to put people out of business. And then you partner that with the Biden zero tolerance policy coming from the ATF, which is now defunct, which was targeting people because of spelling errors in 4473s, which then shut their FFLs down. Wow. I gave you a hint. The left, Biden, the Dems. This is the whole point. If we are going to engage in this and take our country back and stop the gun control and stop the infringements and stop everything that they're doing to us on the right or in the middle, we have to go outside of the gun world experience and we have to tie in the other world experience. Because again, the gun rights activists, the gun rights supporters are going to save this country because we know how to deal with this. They specifically targeted us because of political belief. They specifically targeted us because of constitutional rights that are in the Bill of Rights, that number 2. If they had done this on freedom of speech, you would have never heard the end of it. Nazis, fascists, tyrants, whatever. This is the point. Let's continue. They further undermine public trust in banking institutions and their regulators, discriminate against political beliefs and free expression of those beliefs, and weaponize a politicized regulatory state. When did the lawsuits start? Policy. It is the policy of the United States that no Americans should be denied access to financial services because of their constitutionally or statutorily protected beliefs, affiliations, or political views, and to ensure that politicized or unlawful debanking is not used as a tool to inhibit such beliefs, affiliations, or political views. It's weird. Banking decisions must instead be made on the basis of individualized, objective, and risk-based analysis. You mean an even playing field that's not having a hand on the scale of people like Elizabeth Warren or Every Town for Gun Safety or Moms Ban Action or Shannon Watts or John Feinblatt, all gun controllers in their own right, or Michael Bloomberg? You mean those people? Yeah, when did the lawsuits start? When did the arrests start? You can let me know what you think in the comments. But the bottom line on this one, guys, they targeted us specifically because they didn't like the rights of which we have. It's that simple. They made a decision, and then they leveraged the deep state, and then they leveraged the political levers of power against the banking institutions, which then targeted you, debanked you. You can't operate business because your risk profile is too high. Really? This is a really good start with the presidential order. I would really like to see lawsuits, class action lawsuits. I want them to feel this because they should. But anyway, that's my thoughts on this matter. I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. See you in a minute.